Hey, I'm kind of walking around because my signal is weak. Hello, everyone. I just decided to pop on because I was having this conversation with this girl I met the other day. She's fixing to go on a big adventure to Guatemala, and she was saying how she was scared. And I said, "Don't be scared. You know, the world is full of good people." And she started crying. And she gave me a big hug and told me thank you. And I realized that I was probably the only person who she's been talking to about her trip who has said that. Who said don't be scared. And I remember when I was younger and I was doing a lot of my traveling by hitchhiking, people would always pick me up and they would say, "Oh my gosh, this is so dangerous. I can't believe that you're doing this. You know, is there any way that I can help you? Can I take you a little farther? This is my stop, but let me take you even further. Or here's some extra food, or let me refill your water bottle." And that's the only kind of experience that I ever had. Now, I know that's not the only kind of experience that anyone ever has, but the majority of people's experiences are like that. If you give yourself an opportunity to interact with people, if you put yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable, people want to help you. I just had this experience on my trip to California where I lost my key in the sand. And I had a group of people, a group of total strangers, spend like 2 hours looking for my key with me. They let me use their phone to call AAA. They shared their food with my boys. We didn't have any food. We didn't have any dry clothes. And they shared everything that they had with us and used their precious vacation time during the sunset to get us out of a sticky situation. And they were having so much fun. I mean, the piece that was so sweet about it was that I could see that this was going to be a memorable experience for them. Like, we didn't bum them out by needing help. They had a story about it. They were going to be telling stories about my twin boys and what ridiculous animals they are for years to come, I'm sure. And this is the same as true with nature. You know, you have this idea, you watch the Nature Channel, you have this idea that like everything is out to get you. But in actuality, you probably have almost stepped on so many poisonous snakes or had a poisonous spider or scorpion crawl over you while you're sleeping hundreds of times and never gotten stung or bitten. These things are not coming to attack you. You know how many sharks have probably swam right by you while you're swimming? How many stingrays, how many man-o-war? And they're not attacking you, trying to ruin your day or kill you. They're mostly avoiding you and mostly trying to get out of your way. And we have this conception like the world is dangerous, and it's no wonder because we're living in these tiny little isolated boxes and driving around in even tinier little isolated boxes, barely interacting with people, and then having this idea of humanity and this idea of nature broadcasted us through media and whatnot, of all of these things that are so dangerous that we need to avoid. And so we think that we're safer being in our little boxes. But in actuality, we're just lonely and depressed and disconnected from reality. And, hi Aisha, nice to see you. And in that isolation and in that disconnection from reality, we miss out on so many kinds of experiences that would nourish us, that would direct us more into what we should be doing with our lives, or what, our purpose is, or opportunities to open our heart, opportunities to connect with God, or whatever you like to call that, to actually be living versus, just being a little Lego man in a little Lego house. I think that's it. You guys want to weigh in? Tim, hi, nice to see you guys live on this little spontaneous rant of mine. I probably have a little bit of a delay. I usually do when I'm broadcasting from here. Man, I need my own network. I'm just gonna start filming every time anybody is nice to me. I'm just gonna film it, and I'll have my own news program of all of the. It might not be very interesting, not very dramatic, but give people a perspective that's a little bit more realistic about what it's like moving in the world and occasionally, needing something. And it's not hard to create these opportunities to interact with people and interact with nature. You just linger a little longer at the park, let yourself make eye contact with somebody. You don't plan how you're going to get from the airport to the hotel and wing it. Maybe you end up taking the city bus. Maybe you meet a cab driver who brings you home to have dinner with his family. I mean, these things actually happen. So it makes life so much richer and worthwhile. And it's really what, this whole Reconnection Studio is about. It's actually being connected to the life that you're living, being connected to the planet that you're living on, being connected to the other people that are on the planet with you. So, yeah. I love you guys. Thanks for being on the planet with me, watching my video. Comment below if you have anything to say, especially if you want to share any experiences that you've had where maybe you were scared, you had to rely on somebody that you didn't know, and maybe were in a compromised situation and it turned out really well. Love to hear those kinds of stories. Okay, love you guys. Thank you.